When you're going through breast cancer, I think all of us have, our focus is so much on ourselves, and we're trying to get well and we're trying to stay positive. But slowly things start to creep into our spirit. The kindness of other people, the fact that my community around me reached out in so many ways that made me feel stronger and happier, and even the smallest things made a difference. And I started to look at my own life and think, how could I pay that forward? How could I reach out and make other women on their journey feel that same sense of community? And again, Breast Friends offered that opportunity to not only reach out to other women going through this process, but to make some lifetime friendships. Well, Breast Friends actually entered my journey a little bit later. I was at a point where I was experiencing something that a lot of cancer patients go through. When we're going through treatment, we're all in these wonderful protective arms of our doctors. And it gives us a sense of security, and it gives us a feeling that we're being very proactive in our treatment. We're fighting the fight. Unfortunately, when the doctors say those magic words, you're cancer-free and we're done with you and you don't need to come back for another 3 months, you're left with a sense of almost abandonment. And you don't know where you're going at that point. I found myself experiencing some of the first fear that I had felt on my journey. And luckily, I went to an event and the Breast Friends girls were there. And they had their pink pom-poms and they had their beautiful smiles, and they were sharing as much information as they could with many women as they could. And I just was blessed to feel like I had found some place I could go and really talk to some people who understood what I was going through and validate this new, almost post-traumatic stress I was experiencing. So, my experience with Breast Friends really helped me just start the next step of my journey of thriving beyond the disease. So that was where I found my home with Breast Friends. As a volunteer at Breast Friends, we are given names of women to reach out to that are going through something that we may be able to help with. And they gave me Marie's phone number. And we talked for probably an hour. And I knew instantly that I had a sister in this journey. And we've become very much a part of each other's heart.
The doctors were telling me that the cancer was becoming more aggressive. They found it in my lymph nodes. It was still stage 2 at that point, but they were telling me that I needed to take this seriously and I needed to accept that I had it. I spent a long time on my knees crying out to God because I couldn't understand why He would have me go through this. I began chemo within a week after that, and my first time sitting in the chair receiving chemo, I remember them going over the whole list of all of the side effects and all of the things I would experience and the medications, and it felt like I walked out of there with this great big bucket of stuff that I now had to carry around, this knowledge that's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Where am I supposed to go? All of this information, and I'm one person. All of these medications, all of this, facts that, types of cancer, and, all these names of things that I had no idea, I couldn't understand. I'm just one person. I'm a single mom taking care of my kids and trying to just do the best that I can. So the really cool thing was that during that visit, there was one lady that was sitting in there, and I've never seen her again in the chemo office, but she recommended Breast Friends, and that's where I found out about Breast Friends. And it's really been the most scary thing that I've experienced, but having Breast Friends has really opened up my mind and opened up my ability to cope. I'm so thankful that God put that lady there that day. I don't even remember her name. I've never seen her in there again. But having Breast Friends to be by my side and to help me, I've spoke to Becky on the phone, I've spoke to Sharon on the phone, I've spoke to Yvonne for hours and hours and hours on the phone, and other ladies in there as well that I don't remember all of their names. But being able to just have somebody to turn to for all of the questions and people to explain it to me on a human level, not a, doctor level, it makes the world of difference. Being around Breast Friends and having that support network of women that have also experienced what it's like to lose their hair, it opened my world because I had all of my support from my church. My church family is an amazing, amazing support system for me, but they could not possibly understand what it's like to lose your hair. So having Breast Friends, on the other hand, to balance that out and to have that support in going through that, having other women that have experienced that, it made the world of difference. So the first day that I came into Breast Friends for the open house, it was such an amazing experience for me. It was the first time that I felt joy in this whole experience. It was the first time my family was able to feel a little bit of lightness in the spirit of going through everything. We were welcomed with open arms from everybody and so much love. Walking in there that day, Yvonne was all excited to help me find hats and try on wigs, and it was so nice to have somebody that was just involved. And Becky and Sharon and everybody, they just made me feel so welcomed, and I felt love. They provided hats and scarves and wigs and all of these things to help me feel like I was still beautiful going through this, to help me not feel like I was sick, to help, it was an awesome experience. My daughter really got to see her mom rise above the illness, and her mom just fit right back into her bubble at the same time, and it was really cool for all of them to be a part of that journey. But the best thing, honestly, was being able to find myself in the illness again, to be able to feel beautiful and to be able to feel comfortable. So the Bald is Beautiful photo shoot was probably the second best experience in my entire life, like next to giving birth to my children. Honestly, in a way, it was giving birth to a new me. Going in there, I was very scared. I had a hard time facing myself, being sick. I had a hard time seeing myself, and the whole idea of having pictures taken of me with my head exposed was very, very nerve-wracking to begin with, but it was such a freeing experience. It helped me to see myself as a survivor. For me, life doesn't stop just because I have cancer. Life goes on. I'm still a mom. I still have to provide for my family. I still have to be the strong person. I still have to be the backbone for my kids. I still have to be there, nonstop. I can't just put life on hold just because I'm sick. And having Breast Friends in my life has really helped me to have the strength to continue to go on.